Yeah.
Hello, hello, hello. What's up, everybody? You already know what this voice is because it's 6 o'clock on a Friday. It's Jalen Michelle, aka Lovely Human. And who do I have next to me?
Here I am, Bella Bright. I am the tallest in the studio, possibly. So that's a fun fact about me right now.
Not today, though, because I'm wearing 6-inch heels. Also, just in case you didn't catch that beginning part, this is Jalen Michelle. It's QTNA. It's Friday. It's 6 o'clock. I'm actually taller than you with these heels on, I do declare.
Okay, so I'm not talking about who's the tallest with aid. I'm saying who's the tallest with no shoes on.
You know what?
Hold on, Cooper. How tall are you?
Cooper, shout out
You
Cooper
are not
in the
6'1".
bag
Hold
engineering
on.
today. You are not 6'1", Cooper.
Just 6'1".
That means he's
Actually,
5'11".
I haven't double checked that. You are about
That
my height,
means
so
you're
that does-
5'11".
No, I'm not. I got checked like 2 months ago.
Okay, Cooper got checked.
See,
2 months
okay,
ago.
so I'm the tallest woman in this room.
Okay,
Jalen's heels don't mean anything.
You know what? And it hurts my feelings because typically I'm the tallest one amongst my friends.
You're just wild because you're short.
Except for I'm 5'7".
Okay,
That
so you're
is-
average.
5'7" is above average height for
No,
women.
that's average height
No,
for women.
women's average height is 5'5".
Like worldwide or America?
In America.
I don't believe that.
You can look that
I don't
up.
believe that.
Someone in the car when you're not driving. I guess that wasn't a good way to intro that. Somebody at home.
You're like, everybody get into a wreck to prove me right.
Somebody look that up. It is women are 5'5" average.
And I can't believe that because people think that I'm tall, but I think I'm just tall for a girl because average height for guys is 5'10".
How tall are you?
I'm 5'10".
Okay, that is tall.
When I put on shoes, like the boots that I wear every day, I'm probably 5'11".
You're tall for a girl because women's average height is 5'5". Dirty.
Average height is 5'7".
That's not true. Look
I'm
it up.
tall for a girl because I'm 3 inches taller than everybody.
Look it up. I'm
You're-
also tall for a girl because I'm 2 inches taller.
Y'all, let's get to the topic before Jalen starts going crazy.
You guys, we are just talking, but today's question that needs answers is, drumroll please, should we as consumers separate the creator from the creation, aka the art from the artist? And if so, where is the line drawn? Bella, what do you think?
Okay, so I want to use the 2 examples that we were talking about when we were planning the show,
Okay.
where it was like, what's that man name that like made all the songs?
Oh, the man name that made all the songs is so descriptive.
It's so descriptive. No, the guy who went to jail and everybody, not Kirk Franklin. I don't know why that's the name I was going to. Kirk Franklin, I know that you are a good guy. I'm not, it's just like, that was the name that came to head. It wasn't.
Why am I R. Kelly?
R. Kelly, yeah.
Who is the guy that wrote all the songs? Is crazy to say about R. Kelly.
It literally could be anybody. But like the 2 that we thought of was Kirk Franklin and like how people are like, you shouldn't be listening to his music. He's a horrible guy, da-da-da. But when
I don't know that about Kirk Franklin.
girl, okay, we're gonna educate you after. But like him, and then also with Nickelodeon.
He's a gospel singer.
Yeah, I know. I got them confused.
Okay,
I got
keep
them
going.
confused. Who's the guy for Dan Snyder? So like everyone's like saying, "Oh yeah, you can still watch Nickelodeon shows. Don't let it ruin your childhood." But that's still his show. But with like an artist who does wrong, they're like, "No, you're not supposed to be like listening to your music and stuff." So there is a line where you can draw, like you can separate the artist from the art. But it's like, where? Like, actors, it's okay because they're not being themselves. Or, like, he wasn't even acting. He wrote the show. Like, he's a producer.
Yeah. So for me, this is kind of a tricky question because although I can say one thing, I do another thing. Like, there's an evil to a lot of things that we have that are widestream, from the clothing places that we shop at, the restaurants or the fast food places that we eat at, or the entertainment that we consume. There's always a negative to something. And I think when I find out that there's a negative to it, a big part of me is wanting to like learn how I can step away from it, but I fall into the same patterns. So like, for example, Chick-fil-A.
Girl, I was about to say my example with Chick-fil-A.
Aside from them supporting Israel,
Oh, that was for another reason. You
for
go
another
ahead,
reason.
yours.
But aside from that, I believe they partook or funded some camps for like people who were gay. What are those called?
There,
There's a word for it.
it
The camp
wasn't
that tries to-
concentration camp, but it was like rehabilitation essentially.
Yeah, but it was negative though.
Yeah, it was not like get off drugs and stay clean. It was like, I'm gonna make you feel so bad about yourself for being gay. And then like so many people so many of the people who went there would commit suicide because it was just a horrible thing. And Chick-fil-A was funding it. I've only eaten Chick-fil-A like 2 times since then, because at the moment I was starving and whoever brought me food was like, oh, I'll bring you food, and they brought me Chick-fil-A, and I was like, okay, we're clearly not friends, but you don't know me well enough to not get me Chick-fil-A.
to know that I'm
But,
not
like,
eating Chick-fil-A.
Yeah,
And you know what I mean? Like, I know those reasons, and still I just found myself eating Chick-fil-A, not even thinking about the reasons, just eating
Chick-fil-A
it.
is not that good that you can't go without it.
For me, it's not about it being that good, because it's not like I eat Chick-fil-A all the time. It's just it happened to be there, and I want their grilled chicken nuggets because I needed some chicken, and I didn't have anywhere else to go at the moment. So that's what it was for me.
See, it's things like this where it's because there is always, like, in a capitalist society, there has to be corruption somewhere. There is no way that everybody in that organization is pure of heart and does exactly what they have to do. Everybody's been to school. Since Snapchat was invented, everyone's been easier to cheat and like all that. Like, everybody's done something wrong that they knew that they weren't supposed to do, and they did it anyway. My thing is that, like, whenever big money is involved, when you actually have a real incentive other than getting an A on a random test in school, like, obviously things are going to be wrong there. But that doesn't mean that we have to boycott everything, because what's left?
That's
You
what
know?
I'm saying. Like, but also that might sound like a cop out coming from my end, because when it comes to certain things, I'm not going above and beyond to like step out of the way of certain things that are funding certain
I
initiatives and
think
stuff like
that
that.
I am. Like,
I don't do that.
for
if I'm being
things
honest.
specifically, like for LGBT and Black rights and things like that, whenever somebody's actively going against that and I know about it, I don't search for the places to avoid, but if it comes to my attention, then I start to avoid it.
Mhm.
And it's not hard for me because I'm frugal, I'll get out. So a reason not to spend my money is literally a godsend. So
And that's my problem. I need to be more frugal. I don't know if that's the Capricorn in you, but my sister, who's actually my twin, you guys have heard her voice or seen her a little bit. She's a Sagittarius as well, of course, because we're twins. But I feel like she's also really you always remind me of her, because you guys have some similarities in the way that you are. I feel like in the womb she took most of the Capricorn traits, and I took most of the Sagittarius traits, because I am not frugal at all. I spend too much money. I actually need to go home and really figure out a financial plan.
No, you really
spending the money
right
that I've
now
been
we
spending.
cannot afford to be broke, y'all.
I
We
can't afford to be broke, especially.
I can't right now
be
is the
broke.
best it's going to be in our lifetime. You need to
Is
get
it
it
really?
together. Yes.
Okay, guys. Before we wrap up and we come back from this break, we didn't give an answer. Should we, as consumers, separate the creator from the creation? If so, where is the line drawn?
I think the line is drawn with how much proportionally of that creation is theirs.
Man, I think for me, I'm just gonna say yes, we should, but I pick and choose where that lies. You know what I mean? Like, whenever it comes to certain companies with like clothing or food, I don't really consider those as much as I do for like supporting artists or actresses and actors. Like, I won't support you if I know that you've done something negative. You know what I mean? But as a corporation, I use a lot of corporations that have probably been involved in some sort of corruption. I kind of just do my daily due. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's kind of just the reality of it. But we're going to be back. Is QTNA. The question that needs answering is, should we as consumers separate the creator from the creation? Y'all think about it and let it ponder in your head as you listen to this music.
Period.
Oh, yeah.
Where's the line drawn when you separate the creation from the creator? Separate the art from the artist, they all say. I don't listen to people.
Oh.
Okay. Like, what do they know? People are stupid. So, like, saying they don't give to me. Like I need some facts. I need some citations with that.
Okay, talk to him.
And so and it's the truth. It's the truth. Just because everybody says it, just because everybody believes it, doesn't mean that you have to believe it too.
That's true.
Like, and that's just like facts, and everyone knows like that's the truth. But just because everyone says it's the rule of thumb.
Prime example, Michael Jackson got accused of playing with so many little boys. All of a sudden, none of that matters. What household do you know? What black household, to be exact, do you know that after all those rumors came out, they stopped listening to Michael Jackson?
And you know what?
That's not an issue. I've always thought that is an issue. Is that not an issue?
Well, actually, I don't know because I wasn't alive at that time, so I don't know if like
you were alive when Michael Jackson died.
I was alive when he died, but I wasn't. I was like, it was before my
that?
parents divorced, so I was younger than 7 years old, right? So like I wasn't paying attention.
I'm sorry. For you to equate being younger than 7 years old with not being alive,
Like I wasn't.
it's crazy.
I wasn't sentient. I wasn't like being aware of things outside of myself. Like I knew Michael Jackson died, and I remember that, and I was like, "Oh, that's so sad. Celebrities died too." But like, I wasn't worried about the tea that was going on. Like I was learning how to spell words I didn't want to learn how to spell. Like there were more pressing issues.
Yeah, I mean, there was news about like a lot of the moms coming out and speaking about like, I think it was the children actually speaking about their parents were telling them to say these things against Michael Jackson. But I don't know. No one pulls anything out of thin air.
See, here's my thing though. Like what my mom would always say was that his childhood was stolen from him, right? So he had his childhood stolen from him. So whenever a big trauma happens, people say that your mind is kind of stuck in the age that your first trauma happens, right? So he became famous at like 5 or 7. So he would mentally feel comfortable around people that age.
True.
So if you think somebody is a bad person, you look at everything they do with like a filter of evilness. And so that's what my mom would always say was like, his childhood was stolen and people wanted his money, so they made up these stories. So, I don't know if that's true or not because I wasn't there to witness and be like, oh, this kind of seems fishy. I don't know. And even if I was sentient enough to know what was going on and read the news and all that, what do I know? Like, I've never met the man in my life. I've never come close to being friends with anyone in his family to know. So, like, who knows? But, like, things with, like, Diddy, things that are happening with him right now. I don't want to say this so that people think that like I don't know anything, but I just found out that Diddy was a prominent rapper in the 90s. What? I thought he was like a producer or something, but lucky for me, my boyfriend is a rap boy, so he knows things like that.
How? Girl, what?
You know what? Because I asked him, I was like, who were like the biggest rappers in the 90s? Because like I asked him, I was like, I feel like top 3 in the 90s was Biggie, Tupac, and Jay-Z, and he was like, yeah, that's valid. And I was like, wait, was Diddy a rapper in the 90s or was he just a producer? And he was like, no, he was a rapper.
Yeah, he was also a rapper.
I didn't know that, so that's tea. But what? That was a random
I'm gonna
side
like
quest.
forgive you for that.
And you know what? I don't even care if people think that I don't know anything about rap because I don't
know anything about it.
I don't listen to rap that much. When I do, it's only like women for the most part. I'm not into boy rap. You know, I'll listen to it if my boyfriend puts it on because, you know, he likes it. But like, you'll never catch me go into the car and like listen to like the baby or anything.
At the end of the day, you take artists like Michael Jackson or even R. Kelly, because people are still playing one of his songs for the cookout. You know they are.
Wait, which song?
I can't remember what song it is, but he has a cookout song.
Oh, I vaguely know what you're talking about. But yeah, I think like R. Kelly, see, that's the thing about these celebrities that have been famous for so long and so much of their art has been ingrained into our culture. How do you take it away from us?
That's that whole concept. Are you a person that separates the art versus the artist, or does it matter to you? There's one person that I know who's really big into music. It's like a whole, like, really important thing. And so I think whenever you're really passionate about something, you're not going to really think about it that way because like you're passionate about it. Like
Yeah.
Michael Jackson, I'm going to keep bringing it back because I still think it's crazy that people still listen to him after those. That's crazy to me. That's crazy. How are you going to exile R. Kelly but not Michael Jackson?
Wait, hold on. But when were the allegations said though?
I don't remember.
Because in my head, it was like in the 90s or something. But like in the 90s, nobody cared about if you were living right. Everybody was living wrong in the 90s. So like maybe it doesn't make
Don't
sense.
even listen to what Bella's saying. She
If
didn't even
you
know
were
that
alive
P.
in
Diddy
the
was an actual
90s.
rapper.
Well, tell
She
me.
didn't even know that he rapped.
Dude.
Don't even listen to what Bella's saying about the 90s. Don't even. Back to what I was saying. It just depends on the person. It literally depends on what's important to you. Like what we were talking about off air. I brought up the conversation that there's a lot of stuff whenever it comes to clothing brands or food brands that I haven't completely X'd out just because I'm used to something on a day-to-day basis, or maybe it doesn't affect me directly enough for me to put more intention towards it, which is not
Yeah.
always positive, and I can reconcile with that. But she basically said she puts the most energy into things that relate to her.
Yeah.
So,
So
like-
I took boycotting Chick-fil-A so seriously because that happened. Like whenever we first learned about it, I think that was about the time where I was just about to come out to my parents, or I just had. So whenever I was hearing that like they were funding people who were in the same shoes that I was, and then so many of them would be killing themselves, I was like, that could be me. So like
Mhm.
ever since then, I couldn't do it. And then I don't know anyone else because at that point, like my memory of high school just gone. But I don't. Yeah, I think I just care more whenever I can feel like that could be me.
Yeah, I can see
But
that.
that's very human, and I don't look for companies to boycott. I feel like that's a lot of energy, and I already have a job and a full-time student. So
And
like,
I was having this conversation with a couple people the other day. We were basically talking about that same concept. And one of them was basically saying that if you find a piece of information out that's negative or affecting people and you choose to ignore it because of what you're used to or like something doesn't affect you, you're a part of the problem.
yeah,
Which is like, that's very valid. And I hate to admit that because I guess I am a part of the problem.
like for instance, like with Shein, I never bought anything from there in my life because first of all, I don't have money to be spending on things even if they are cheap. But then there was like a lot of, I don't even know if this is like how serious it was, but like obviously it's so cheap because they're basically using free labor,
Yeah, it's very
aka
cheap.
slavery. And very clearly I've been related to slaves.
I didn't
Like,
notice.
you didn't notice that
I
I
didn't
looked like
notice.
I had slaves in the family?
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay, thank you.
I didn't notice at all.
No, but like I don't like that because, you know, obviously slavery is bad. So like I don't, and then also this is like there's no like specific company that does this, but I was talking about this with my grandma. I don't want a diamond engagement ring because diamonds are typically like mined in Africa by little kids that get paid cents to do it. And so like these rocks are worth thousands of dollars and they paid a few cents for it.
Mm.
That doesn't make sense because the lab grown ones are people who go to work, they went to school, they go to work, get paid a lot of money to make these gems, and they're cheaper than the ones that you get for slave labor.
Mm.
That doesn't make sense to me. So yeah.
So I guess that goes into the next question because we basically already answered this though. But like once we become aware of the truth about a situation, should we adapt our accustomed behavior or align with our newfound understanding? And I mean, I feel like this answer is pretty simple because
Yeah.
we know what we should do.
Like try your best, but if you're
Yeah.
making your life so hard in this world, there's no way to completely escape evil or sin or whatever you want to call that. I don't even know the right word that we're supposed to call that.
I don't even
but
think it'd be sin. It's just like
corruption,
evil,
probably.
corruption.
So like there's not much that you can do to stop it unless this like an active protest and there's a lot of people doing it, because I do know at some points like if enough people boycott, then they will change their ways. I think that's why Chick-fil-A did stop donating, but Chick-fil-A stopped, but I think their owners still donate.
That's what I'm saying.
So
Like,
it's like it's Chick-fil-A's money is literally their money. So
there was this story that I read a long time ago. So some of the nuggets are a little bit foggy, but it's basically talking about like people lived in a town where everything was beautiful. There was no evil. There were no taxes. There were no like negative things. Everything was beautiful. It was paradise. And whenever they're really young, they're told this story about a young child who is stuck and who's enslaved, basically insinuating that the beautiful land that they're living on is built by slaves. And people either decide to listen to that and walk away and go into the most evil part of the land, or they pretend like nothing happens. And most people pretend like nothing happens.
And you know what? I'm not going to say that I wouldn't do that, because everything is built on the backs of people who suffered. And why should I suffer too if they worked so hard so that I wouldn't? But I think that's slightly a different thing. I said it out loud and I was like, yeah, that's a different thing.
It was still a word though.
It was still
I
a
still
vibe.
snapped.
Yeah, snap. That was poetic. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is QT&A. We're going to be right back. We are asking the question, should we as consumers separate the creator from the creation, aka the art from the artist? And if so, where's the freaking line drawn, Bella? Where's the line drawn? We'll figure it out. We're back. QT&A. This is such a good topic because I feel like...
Or
Hey guys, it's Bella Bright. Wow, I almost had like a flashback.
flashback of what?
I was so hey guys, it's Bella B, and that was like a whole nother version
You know,
of Bella.
every time I say some kind of word, I always think it's Bella B. No, I always want to say, what it be? It's Bella B. It's Bella B.
See, when I was a kid, I used
What it
to
do? What it
introduce
be?
myself
It's
like
Bella
that.
B.
This a whole other person. I almost just like step back. But
That's
anyway, today we are talking about, do you separate the art from the artist? And so off air, Jalen and I were talking, and we got to cancel culture, and we had very opposing opinions.
Mhm.
We started talking about cancel culture, and I said, I don't think cancel culture is real. I think it's just something that we've always done, translated into a 21st century format. And Jalen thinks that it's very serious, and a lot of people are taking way too much damage than they should be for mistakes that they shouldn't be having lifelong, like, career changing, like, effects in.
And now that I say that, it also, I feel like, was extreme for caste systems. Because yes, if there was something that happened in a full community, majority ruled, maybe they got cast out of the system, they were cast out for doing something like dating somebody older than them or younger than them. You know what I mean?
See, that's what I'm saying. Okay, so eons ago, like back in ancient Greece, I forgot which philosopher, but somebody's gonna let me know. There's a philosopher that took poison rather than being cast out and like living the rest of their lives in isolation, because that's how bad it was. I'm not saying that anyone should be like trying to commit suicide because they got canceled. That's not what I want at all. But what I'm saying is, what we do is we essentially do the same thing where like, oh, you're cast out of the limelight until we forget about it. Like, there are so many people that do really bad things and everyone's like, ooh, yuck, we don't like them. But in 10 years, will we still feel the same way?
But I'm not talking about in 10 years because these things are affecting people now.
But the things that people are getting canceled for, the only ones that are actually real being canceled are people who've been here for a long time and shown that they did deserve to be cast out. And like not little people, but like people who aren't as influential, like I can't think of anything because they're not as influential, but like
You forget their
like
names.
people who aren't like household names, A-list celebrities. I think that whenever they do get canceled, the way that we see that they're getting canceled, it's dramatized, so we think it's bigger than what it is. But
Dramatized is a new word.
it's a word.
It's dramatized.
Dramatized?
Dramatized? Somebody look that up.
I
That's
heard
not a
somebody
word.
say it like that. one time. I thought that
Dramatized.
was
Like
okay,
being
well,
more dramatic.
like I
said that 3 times.
because that's how I thought it was. There's somebody that I know who said it, and the way that they said it was so confident that I assumed that I was on. And now here I am on live radio
saying what are you saying?
Dramatized. Shout out to whoever changed my like mental on that. I don't even know who you are anymore, but like you changed my life. Thank you. No, but like what I was saying was like I saw this thing. I'm gonna give this example.
Okay.
So there was a post that says something about saying that JoJo Siwa got dentures. Not dentures, but what are the veneers?
Okay.
Right? And so the way that the post made it look was that she was saying it like it was such a dramatic thing, like, oh yeah, I had this body altering surgery or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's not how it was actually in the original thing, but the way that the post looked like she was doing more of what she's been doing now, thinking that she's doing a whole bunch of big life-changing stuff. It's like, it's just teeth. It's not a BBL, you know? But it made it seem like that's something that she said. And since we've been seeing more stuff like that, I believed it until I went in the comments and was like, somebody was like, oh no, she said this years ago. And she said it was because it was the first thing that I forgot what they said. But like, she said it years ago. It had nothing to do with her now. And so in my head, if I didn't look in the comments and see that comment, I'd be thinking, oh wow, she's making a really big thing out of it for no reason, da da da. And that made me wonder, like, how often do I see these little posts on Instagram where people are they make it sound more dramatic than what it actually is? So I'm thinking that I don't think anyone truly gets canceled unless it's like a big name person for doing something serious like that.
I think you and I are talking about two different definitions of canceled. I don't mean like...
So you define canceled.
What I mean is, if, let's say a post happens, someone's exposed for something that they did a couple years ago, it's blowing up and going viral, and people are talking negatively about it. That's a part of cancel culture. They're trying to get you canceled. And by doing that, they're saying all these negative things, where everybody's commenting about, oh, nobody should listen to them, oh, what the fuck, blah, 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 blah. That's cancel
just
culture.
Gossip.
No. Whenever something goes viral for negativity on comments,
that's literally gossip.
Whenever it's an entertainment news, that's a part of cancel culture, Bella.
E-News is literally a gossip channel.
It is a gossip channel, but I'm saying cancel culture is based off of gossip. It's not like something that's like a thing. It's all gossip.
It's something that we've been doing forever, but now in this new age of information and media, it seems more dramatic than it was because now everybody can be on it. It's not just
what I'm saying is I don't like it. That's all I said. I just said I don't like cancel culture.
Nobody's supposed to like gossip.
People love gossip.
Yeah, but it's not something you're supposed to say that you like. I personally love gossip, and I don't care what anyone says. Oh, it's a sin. What does God know? You know? Like, we're supposed to be talking about ourselves and ourselves only. That's self-centered. You're supposed to be talking about other people.
You saying that statement is mad crazy.
As like you just said that. My parents have both been
and I do not condone that message. You know what I mean? Whatever you believe God knows, I bet you he does. They do.
All I'm saying is God didn't sit down and write the Bible by hand. It was what other people said, what God told them. So whenever they said gossip is a sin, I don't care what John had to say or whoever wrote that.
I don't care what Second Acts had to say.
Literally. Like, if the Ecclesiastes God actually wrote himself was the 10 Commandments. I don't see gossip as a bad thing on the 10 Commandments. Wait, is it?
Okay, we're going to get so off track. We're getting so off track. The next question is, do you think that consumers have responsibilities to hold companies accountable for their actions and demand change when necessary? Again, y'all, in case y'all got lost in our conversations,
right.
We were debating basically separating the art versus the artist, aka cancel culture, and we got into, what else did we get into?
We got into Michael Jackson.
Yeah. We got into
a lot of
stuff. Basically, which one should we be judging?
All right. So this specific question about like how much like the consumer's job it is to keep people accountable. I think it is their job, but it's not their job as consumers. It's their jobs as voters, because we don't have the power to keep them in check, but the law does. So I feel like if we care and we put obviously it's not that simple. Don't think that I'm naive and think like every vote counts in changing the whole entire world.
Right. 'cause
It
there's more
does,
to
but
it.
like in reality, it's a lot harder than what it sounds.
Right.
But I think that like we as consumers should see that something's wrong, and then boycotting shouldn't be our only course of action. It should be, who allowed this to happen? How do we make sure that they're out of it so that more of this can't happen? Or like there are like laws and regulations and things like that. Because that's the only thing that actually can stop big businesses.
Alrighty, guys, we've come to the part of our show where we regroup on the original question and our original answers. Excuse me, I feel a burp coming. Excuse me.
Oh my gosh, how ladylike. Wow, I love that
Excuse
for
me.
you.
Thanks. This is a segment where we give our final answer to the initially proposed question. Have you considered or stand on what you said? Now is the time to defend your logic, but you really only have like 3 minutes, so make it quick.
Oh, we have 4
We have
minutes.
4 minutes.
I've got so much extra time to prove my point now.
We got 2 minutes each. Don't even.
Okay, so I still wait, what was my original point? Hold on. The question was, should we as consumers separate the creator from the creation? If so, where do we draw the line? I agree that like there is a point where it depends on how involved the creator was in the creation. In Dan Snyder's place, he was the producer, which is a big part, but there are still actors, directors, Nickelodeon, all that. So like obviously he's not the only person. So everybody else suffering and us boycotting all of Nickelodeon just because of him probably doesn't make sense. But somebody like Diddy, yeah, I mean like that's his music. You can stop listening to him. The producers have produced other artists.
You're running into my 2 minutes.
Oh, okay. Well then I'll shut up then. Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. You have 1 more minute. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
Oh, so you're cutting into my 2 minutes.
I thought Cooper said 2 more minutes. He actually said 3 more minutes.
Okay. But I'm just saying that like it depends on how much of the project actually belongs to that single person that you're boycotting. But other than that, you at your discretion. Like you're not going to hell for still drinking Starbucks this one time. But if it doesn't hurt you so bad to not drink Starbucks every day, then skip it to like once a week or something. Like everything in moderation, I guess.
Okay, I like that. My answer still stands. I believe everyone should be held accountable for what they do. Now, should you like stop supporting that? I guess that's the main question. I mean, do whatever you feel like is right. I guess I really don't have a big opinion about this because I feel like I don't have the right to speak. Because
you're kind of wishy-washy, as you said. I'm just quoting.
But you're also wishy-washy. What do you even mean?
What do you mean I know
you literally said you really only put more support into things that matter to you.
Yeah, so I stand on what I do. It's just other things I don't care as much about, but I stand on what I do.
I stand on what I do too.
No, you stand on what you do, but you still eat the stuff and drink the drinks.
For the things that pertain to me, I stand on.
I stand by my little quote when I said that.
She literally said the exact same thing. She literally said the exact same thing, but Jalen says it's a problem. She can say it, but Jalen says it's a problem.
What I mean.
Okay. Anyways, that's what I was saying. I have 1 more minute, but this won't really take a minute, honestly. I really don't know. I'm at a standstill with this question because it's always a push and pull. Like once I find a piece of information out, I do believe I should stop supporting it. But I never end up keeping up with that non-support. And so I'm just being realistic. And I don't really have an answer because I don't deserve to give an answer. I don't do that.
Okay, big slay.
I'm being honest. Now it's kind of scary because people are so judgmental. I remember somebody kind of went off on me a little bit because I said that. And I don't really think that's fair because we all have different ways of handling things. And that doesn't make me an evil human being.
Yeah. Just because somebody doesn't care as deeply as you care about something doesn't mean that they're like evil or anything. It just means that like you care more. And that's something that you should be proud of rather than like hurting other people's feelings for.
Yeah. Well, we'll be back. It's QTMA. We are ending very soon, so stay tuned. We just need a little bit more of your time. Peace out. Amazing 102.5 FM. That makes me think about the whole political era whenever people were voting. We couldn't leave without telling you lovely people goodbye, of course. I I am Jane and Michelle, and I feel like we had a great show today.
We did have a good show today. I am so happy that we did. I didn't even realize it feels like Wednesday to me. Like honestly, we were about to start the show. I was walking outside because I needed to clear my head, and I was like, yeah. And I was thinking to myself, we got the show tonight, and I need to make sure that I have this in my mind. And I was like, hold on, isn't it Wednesday? Why do we have a show tonight? And so I had to like literally look at my calendar again to make sure it was Friday. Why is time moving?
On Tuesday, I thought it was Wednesday.
Really? So
Yep.
you were a day ahead?
That was a day ahead. You're like 2 days behind.
2 days behind, guys. Like, oh my gosh. Like, I wasted my night last night, and then the night before that, I also wasted it because I needed like a mental break. But like, oh my gosh.
Alrighty, guys. We just wanted to come back on and say goodbye before we had to leave.
Oh no, you have to say your favorite part and something inspiring.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's just that we're way past 7 o'clock. But okay. Okay. My favorite part, honestly, I just like the conversation. It was a good conversation. Good banter. We didn't agree on everything, which was nice. I could hear your point.
I think life is better when you don't
agree with everything.
I mean, agree on some things, but like agreeing on everything is boring.
Something positive. I would just say don't get frustrated if people don't share the same opinion or values as you, especially whenever you're passionate about it. It's okay. Everybody's different. Life would be so boring if we were all the same.
That is very true.
You can find me on Instagram at lovely.human with 2 N's, of course, a part of We Have the QTNA on Instagram as well.
My favorite part of this show was discovering that today was actually Friday. Thank you so much for reminding me, guys. I think it's
discovering that today was actually Friday.
Yeah, it's like how exciting.
It's the weekend.
It's the weekend, but like I still work tomorrow, but you know, it's still a vibe.
I work tomorrow and Sunday.
I'll get a good nap. I wake up at 5 tomorrow for work. So
5 p.m.
a.m. Did you say p.m.? Like I don't wake up at 5.
No, I thought you were saying you were gonna take a nap.
No, I was gonna take a nap after.
Oh,
like at like 3 whenever I'm finally done with everything. But something inspiring that I want to say to you guys right now. Just do it.
Like Nike.
I was thinking like the meme from a long time ago, the just do it.
No.
Wow, we had different childhoods. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, you're younger than me.
Yeah, the dude from home.
By literally a couple years.
Exactly.
Y'all, I need to calm down. I was about to be like, oh my god.
She just doesn't like being called younger. I think that's what it is.
No, it's not that I don't like being called young. It's like we were in childhood in the same time.
How old are you?
I'm 20.
Oh.
How you? Okay.
I thought you were 19.
This is the end of the show. The end of the
Alrighty,
show.
guys. Thank you so much for listening. It is QTNA every Friday at 6 o'clock. I hope you guys enjoyed this convo. Again, ask yourselves and ponder on this question. Should we as consumers separate the creator from the creation? If so, where's the line drawn? Until next time, ponder on your answer on Amazing 102.5 FM QTNA. Look, I'm forming a little lock in the back. I'm forming a lock.